Oh, Poole had Clarkson fall down and then hit the three.
There's a new MVP in Washington, D.C., and we're not talking about the regular season All-Star or Finals MVP. After a successful stint with the Golden State Warriors in his first 4 seasons in the NBA, Jordan Poole is now in the position to become the Washington Wizards MVP. But we're talking about the Shaqtin' MVP because the entire season has been a comedy of errors for the player who was once regarded as the future of the Warriors dynasty. But Poole has been on a downward spiral that's gotten people wondering what happened to the rising guard. Poole's performances in Washington have been nothing short of embarrassing, but let's look at the events that led to his sudden and unexpected downfall. Jordan Poole once had it all in the Bay Area. He entered the league in 2019 when the Golden State Warriors needed offense while Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson were injured in the post-Kevin Durant era. Poole had a unique air of confidence surrounding him because he knew how to take over games and create shots off the dribble. It didn't take long for him to showcase his unique combination of ball handling skills and shooting as he became an important piece in the Warriors' run during the 2021-22 season.
Layup opportunities the last couple trips down. Poole three.
Poole became a legitimate bucket getter for the Warriors in just 3 seasons in the NBA. Whether playing on the starting lineup or off the bench, he knew how to get buckets off the dribble and off the catch. He played extremely well off Curry and Thompson. Whenever either or both of those players were on the bench, Poole knew how to take over the offense to generate points for the Warriors. Whenever he was hot and motivated, he looked like the second coming of Stephen Curry. It was a pool party for the man who knew how to make a splash with his offense. As a third-year player at 22, Jordan Poole averaged 18.5 points while shooting 36.4% from the field. He was at the level of a star, but his shooting and shot creation abilities were there. All he needed to do was mature enough to become a legitimate first or second option on offense for any team in the league. But he proved himself a rising star during the 2022 playoffs when he averaged 17 points on more than 50% shooting from the field off the bench. Poole's electric and timely offense was one of the reasons why the Warriors won the 2022 championship. He was hitting clutch shots with his long-range shooting and was a legitimate threat that opposing defenses needed to keep an eye on at all times. Poole's presence also gave Curry and Thompson open looks, making it easier for them to perform at their best to win the dynasty's 4th championship in the Steph era in Golden State. But things started going south for him and the Warriors during the 2022 offseason. Up for a huge contract extension, Poole and teammate Draymond Green had a publicized altercation during a team practice when Green punched the young guard. The rumor was that they were talking trash about their future contracts with the team. After all, Poole was a rising star, whereas Green was already declining due to his age. True enough, Poole secured the bag when he got a 4-year contract worth $123 million. The Warriors thought that he would be the team's future.
And the Warriors have to keep it. Oh, my goodness. 362.
Especially with Curry and Thompson aging deeper into their 30s. But all the money couldn't fix the problems between him and Green. Draymond did indeed apologize for punching his teammate. However, there was a clear lack of communication and chemistry between them whenever they were on the floor. Poole also started doing too much for the Warriors by attempting inefficient shots. He was waving teammates off, resulting in bad possessions and even turnovers. The pool party wasn't fun, despite him averaging 20.4 points and 4.5 assists during the 2022-23 season. But he was embarrassing in the playoffs and averaged 10.3 points on 34.1% shooting from the field. His problems with Green and his poor and unmotivated performances in the playoffs spelled the end of Poole's run with the Warriors. The front office might have given him the benefit of the doubt when he was offered a huge contract extension, but he has done nothing to justify the ridiculous sum of money he's been making. In the hopes of rectifying their mistake of giving Poole a bad contract, the Warriors traded him to the Washington Wizards, who thought they could rebuild with Poole as one of the team's centerpieces. It makes sense for a team to think that Jordan Poole could be a future star. After all, he performed incredibly well for the Warriors as a third or even fourth option on offense for 2 straight seasons. He also had a good combination of ball handling, playmaking, and shot creation skills that only the best offensive players in the league have.
Launches.
But what the Wizards didn't expect is that they were getting an unmotivated player whose confidence and ego had become too overblown. As a member of the Wizards, Poole hasn't been helping the team out of the lottery at all. He takes bad shots, alienates teammates, attempts to get into the highlight reel, and turns the ball over. He had the ultimate green light early on, but has been involved in boneheaded plays every week. If Poole wasn't turning the ball over with ridiculously bad dribble moves, he casually takes the worst attempts without a care in the world. Earlier this season, he took an ill-advised three-pointer over the 7'3" Kristaps Porzingis and got blocked. Not long after that, he dismissed a Detroit Pistons defender with his dribble move, but opted to stare his opponent down before taking a bad shot that got blocked by Ausar Thompson. The money may have been pouring in for Poole, but the basketball IQ has been leaking out.
Avdija, bounce pass, upstairs to Kuz.
While people saw Green as the villain for punching him almost 2 years ago, Poole has been steadily making people understand why Draymond even punched him. Every fan in Washington probably wants to punch him as well. The countless turnovers and dumb plays have made Jordan Poole a fixture in Shaqtin' a Fool. Getting featured once in Shaqtin' is already bad enough, but repeatedly making it to the weekly list in only one season is ridiculous. It's bordering the JaVale McGee territory in Shaqtin' a Fool accomplishments. Poole will likely end the season as the undisputed Shaqtin' a Fool MVP. At least he's going to win something at the end of the season, because the Wizards have been horrible with Poole as the team's first option on offense. Poole's foolish decisions and bad plays have made him the ultimate tank contender, as most internet fans call him. And the Wizards probably don't care about him making dumb decisions on a nightly basis because they need him to lead the team to one of the top picks in the upcoming draft. But while it may be true that the Wizards are now tanking for the future, with Poole leading the way for them, this man's poor performances just don't justify the money he's making. He's averaging inefficient numbers of 15.8 points on 39.6% from the field, while making more than $30 million a year.
He's up flying everywhere. Throw it up. This is 11th rebound. Poole, count the bucket and one.
And recently, the Wizards have had enough of him and decided to play him off the bench. So, how did it get to this point? The first thing that stands out about him is that he lacks motivation. Jordan Poole doesn't seem to be happy in Washington, which shows in his facial expressions and body language. After winning a championship in Golden State, moving to a rebuilding team near the bottom of the standings may have affected his motivation to win games or perform well. And after getting guaranteed $120 million for 4 years, he has no incentive to work hard to make money. Then there's the possibility that he's always been the same player, but was able to hide behind Curry and Thompson in Golden State. With the best Warriors players attracting defense and making life easy for him to generate offense, life was easy for Poole in the Bay Area. As long as defenses were too focused on the Splash Brothers in the Warriors system, Poole only had to ensure his shots were falling. Finally, it's also possible that Draymond Green punched all the common sense and basketball IQ out of Poole's head, but that seems unlikely. Overall, Poole's stint in Washington is nothing short of forgettable because he's been getting exposed for his poor shot selection and inability to motivate himself. From the looks of things, he's always going to be a liability on any team because he doesn't seem to have the competitive fire that a franchise needs from a star. Jordan Poole is still young and can turn his life around if he wants to. After all, there's always a good chance he will lose his $123 million contract. It's also very likely that no team would be willing to give him another good contract at the end of his current one. He's talented enough, and let's hope he finds a way to get over this chapter in his life and start hosting pool parties once more. Whatever the case, Poole's rise to success and sudden downfall reminds everyone of what can happen if a player gets too far ahead of himself.